Good morning, friends. Today we are going to start with applications of Raoult's criteria and relative stability. Let us review what we learned during last two lectures. We have studied stability criteria and also we have studied poles and zeros. The definition of characteristics equation also we have studied. As far as stability criteria is concerned, in a figure you will find system is stable if there is bounded input and bounded output. If there is no bounded input and no corresponding bounded output, system is unstable. Output should be bounded. In a figure you will find that a unstable system does not have bounded output. This figure shows a output of the system. Here in an unstable system, at the last box you will find C of t is not bounded. It is increasing continuously and so it is not stable, it is unstable. As far as in a first box you will find exponentially decreasing, which is nothing but absolutely stable, and even in box number 3 damped oscillation, C of t is related to damped oscillation, which is again a absolutely stable system. A marginally stable system is having continuous oscillation whose output does not increase or does not reduce. It remains stable for a whole time period. It is called a marginally stable system. Now let us see what is transfer function. Transfer function is given by C of s upon R of s. This transfer function, from where it has come? It has come from a closed loop system. Just remember closed loop system in which there will be G of s, H of s at the feedback side and gain of the system is Z, feedback gain is H. So output C of s upon R of s is equal to am s raised to m plus am minus 1 s raised to m minus 1 plus and so on a1 into s raised to 1 plus a0 divided by bn s raised to n bn minus 1 s raised to n minus 1 plus b1 s raised to 1 plus b0 as shown in equation number 3.1, which is transfer function of closed loop system. There are two parameters, one is numerator and another one is denominator. Am is numerator parameter which deals or which relates with zeros in the S plane. S plane, if we try to draw, S is equal to sigma plus j omega. That means on y-axis we plot j omega and on x-axis real part is considered. Sigma is there. So it is two-dimensional graph. Yet that is called S plane. Let us come to denominator of this transfer function, which is related to bn s raised to n and so on. This denominator defines poles of the system, poles of the transfer function. Now there are two parameters in this equation 3.1. There are two parameters in this equation. One is numerator and another one is denominator. One is numerator and another one is denominator. Numerator makes, if numerator s minus t is equal to 0, then it makes C of s upon R of s is equal to 0, which makes C of s upon R of s or transfer function is equal to 0. That's why it is called zeros. And in the denominator you will find in the denominator you will find bn into s raised to n, where s minus x is equal to 0 suppose, then it makes c of s upon r of s is equal to infinity. So numerator makes transfer function is equal to 0 and denominator makes transfer function is equal to infinity. So in the numerator it is called zeros and roots of s are called zeros, and in the denominator roots are called as poles because it makes poles or infinity. Transfer function is equal to infinity. This is what we have studied in the first two lectures. Even we have studied Routh-Hurwitz criteria. We have studied example of Routh-Hurwitz criteria in which denominator is considered only based upon the pole. Based upon the poles, we determine stability mathematically or on paper. How system will become stable we understand with the help of Routh-Hurwitz criteria. That is use of this. We have studied check whether the system with characteristics this has this system is stable or not. This example we have studied in the last lecture. What we have done, this is a denominator of the transfer function. Characteristics means this is a denominator of the transfer function, and we are trying to find out roots of these locations, and if roots are lies on left hand side of the S plane, then that system becomes stable. But in a Routh-Hurwitz criteria, it is Routh have placed it in the matrix format. Routh and Hurwitz have placed it in the matrix format, and if there is sign change in first column, then root will lie on the right hand side. It is a conclusion. If there is no sign change in first column, then roots will be lies on left hand side of the S plane and system becomes stable. So this is by looking at this equation we will find immediately, within a few seconds we find that this system is stable. But the drawback of this system is that Routh-Hurwitz criteria is that if there are more number of s raised to say 100, s raised to 99, s raised to 98, it becomes difficult to find out stability of the system, and it is quite time consuming system. That's all. Let us go to applications of Routh-Hurwitz criteria. See, in a 3.2.2 we find that Routh stability criteria can be used to determine range of system gain k which system is stable. In the previous lecture we have studied that if system is given, characteristics equation is given, from this characteristics equation we check whether there is sign change in first column of the matrix. If there is sign change in the first matrix, we say that it is an unstable system. If there is no sign change in the first column, we say that it is a stable system. And if I don't have its coefficients or actual values, then we can design a system. That means we can go in the reverse way. If I place a characteristics equation and that I want to physically implement in the closed loop system or to decide gain of the system, I can use this Routh-Hurwitz criteria. We can decide here, you will find that we can decide gain of the system. Here gain is important parameter, gain K, which system is stable. We want to find out gain of the system. Okay. Consider the characteristics equation of the certain closed loop control system s raised to 3 plus 3k s square plus k plus 2 into s plus 4 is equal to 0, where k is gain of the system that I want to find out and k is related to closed loop system's gain. Determine the range of k so that the system is stable. Now put Routh-Hurwitz matrix in which s raised to 3, s raised to 2, s raised to 1 and s raised to 0 will be on vertical axis, and on the horizontal axis or in the row side, if I place its rows corresponding to this equation, 1, then k plus 2, 0 and 0. Then 3k, this 4, that is 4, 0 and 0. Now multiply this 3k into k plus 2 minus 4 divided by 3k. It will look like this. And 0, again there will be 1 multiplied with 0, 3k multiplied with 0 divided by 3k will be 0 again, and 0 will be here. By solving this matrix we get this equation. Now there are two conditions. System to be stable, 3k should be positive, and another lower one, that is 3k into k plus 2 minus 4 divided by 3k, it should be positive. So equation is 3k greater than 0. So I can say that k should be greater than 0. It is a equation. Output here, k should be greater than 0. And from third row we understand that, from this row we also understand that 3k into k plus 2 minus 4 upon 3k should be greater than 0. So by solving this we understand that 3k square plus 6k minus 4, it should be greater than 0. Finding roots of this equation we get minus 2.5 and 0.5, k plus 2.5 into k minus 0.5, it gives that k is less than minus 2.5 and k is greater than 0.5. This is k is greater than 0.5. K is greater than this. If we compare above three conditions for value of k, we can conclude that for stable system k should be greater than 0.5. Means gain of the system, gain of the closed loop system, k should be greater than 0.5, then and then only system will become stable. So we do not use Routh-Hurwitz criteria only for finding the stability of the characteristics equation, rather we can use reversely to find out gain of the system, and ultimately we can find out to design a closed loop system. We will switch to next point, that is relative stability analysis. The another application of this is relative stability analysis. Relative stability means if we have a stable system, suppose we know that our system is stable. In a example, s raised to 3 plus 7s square plus 25s plus 39 is equal to 0. This system is stable, but relatively how much stable it is? Let us understand. That means only j omega axis of the S plane as shown in figure 3.6, S plane axis is located at 0th position. So at 0th position it is transferred to S is equal to minus 1 according to this equation in example 3.3. If S is equal to minus 1, we will learn this relative stability with reference to example 3.3. Consider the characteristics equation s raised to 3 plus 7s square plus 25s plus 39 is equal to 0. Check the relative stability for line s is equal to minus 1. With reference to 0th position in the S plane, if S is equal to minus 1, whether system is stable or not, that we will understand using this equation, using this characteristics of Routh-Hurwitz criteria. Let us find out solution of this example 3.3. Shift the origin at S is equal to minus 1, that is given in this. Shift the origin at S is equal to minus 1. So substitute S is equal to Z minus 1. Why to substitute S is equal to Z minus 1? Because Z is, we are making Z plane axis is equal to minus 1. We are shifting this S plane axis in figure 3.6 to Z plane axis at S is equal to minus 1. That's why. It does not, this Z plane axis does not have any relation with Z transform Z plane. This is just like X plane, Y plane, Z plane, like that we have mentioned Z plane axis because it is transferred from S plane S is equal to 0 to S is equal to minus 1. Now new axis at S is equal to minus 1, we are calling it as Z plane axis, because we want to find out relative stability. Relatively, normally we are finding out stability with reference to S is equal to 0. Now we are finding out relative stability at S is equal to minus 1. With reference to minus 1, how many poles lies on left hand side of the S plane, that we are going to learn. So substitute S is equal to Z minus 1. Approximately Z axis plane is treated as 0th axis here. That's why S is equal to 0. So S is equal to minus 1. And that's why we can say that this plane is shifted towards left. S plane is shifted towards left. To shift that S plane towards right, relatively towards right, what we will do? We will take S is equal to Z plus 1. Understand? So substitute S is equal to Z minus 1 is a method where sigma is equal to minus 1. If I substitute S is equal to Z minus 1 in example 3.3, it becomes, equation becomes Z minus 1 raised to 3 plus 7 into Z minus 1 raised to 2 plus 25 into Z minus 1 plus 39 is equal to 0. So Z raised to 3 minus 3Z square plus 3Z minus 1 plus 7Z square minus 14Z plus 7 plus 25Z minus 25 plus 39 is equal to 0. And if I solve this, it becomes Z cube plus 4Z square plus 14Z plus 20 is equal to 0. Now compare this with characteristics equation given in example 3.3. Example 3.3, each s cube plus 7s square plus 25s plus 39 is equal to 0, and characteristics equation given or after transforming the plane axis to -1, it is z cube plus 4z square plus 14z plus 20 is equal to 0. That means we will solve this equation now using Routh-Hurwitz criteria, and then we will check its stability. So let us solve it. So it is 1, 14, 4 and 20. Okay, from this equation, that is 1, 14, 4 and 20. Okay, 1, 14, 4 and 20, right? Then corresponding to z, 14 into 4 minus 20 into 1 divided by 4, which is equal to 9, and 0 after that. Then lastly at z is equal to z raised to 0, it is 9 into 20 minus 4 into 0 divided by 9, which is equal to 20. Now we come to know that 1, 4, 9 and 20 is a first column where there is no sign change, all are positive. That's why no sign change is there. So I can conclude that poles lies on left hand side of z plane also. So relatively it is stable with reference to z plane axis also. That means no doubt the said equation, this equation example 3.3 is stable with reference to S plane, but it is also relatively stable with Z plane. All poles lies on left hand side of S is equal to -1 or left hand side of Z plane axis. So it is definitely stable system, and conclusion is given. I read this conclusion: all elements of first column of Routh array are positive. Hence all roots of Z polynomial lies on left on S is equal to -1 in the S plane. Or secondly, I can say it lies on left of Z plane axis. Next part, root locus technique we will learn in the next lecture. Thank you.